Okay, so today um, we're diving into RoleCatcher. Have you heard of this?
I have actually, yeah. It's been making some waves.
Yeah, it seems like it's kind of designed for like anyone who's ever like applied for a job and just felt like the whole system is rigged against them.
Yeah, for sure. Like refreshing those job boards and tweaking resumes and, cover letters. It's a lot. And then, like you said, sometimes you don't even get past the computer.
Right, it's you pour all this energy into your application and then it just disappears into the void.
Exactly. And you're left wondering, like, did anyone even look at this thing?
And that's why I was so curious about RoleCatcher, because their whole thing is like beat the automated recruiter. And I'm like, okay, yeah, how? How do you do that? What's the secret?
Well, it seems like their whole approach is about giving you like an inside edge. Like they're trying to reverse engineer the system so you can kind of game it a little bit.
Interesting. Okay, so tell me more about how they do that. What's like the breakdown?
So one of their core features is they aggregate job postings from like a ton of different sources. So think like hundreds of job boards, company websites all in one place.
Okay, so it's like a central hub for job hunting. That's kind of cool, but I mean, I can already find job postings online. What makes RoleCatcher different?
So it's not just about finding the postings, it's about understanding like what's really behind them. What those employers are actually looking for.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So let's say you see a posting for like a promotion assistant, right? RoleCatcher doesn't just show you the description, it analyzes it. Like it pulls out those hidden keywords and skills that employers really want, even if they're buried in the fine print.
Oh, wow. It's like having a secret decoder ring for job descriptions. That's pretty cool.
Exactly. And once you know what employers are looking for, RoleCatcher helps you tailor your application to match.
So it's like taking the guesswork out of it no more. Like, am I using the right words? Is my formatting weird?
Exactly. It's all about making sure you're putting your best foot forward.
I like it. So once I know what I need to highlight, how does RoleCatcher actually help me improve my application?
They have this feature called the CV Resume Builder, and what it does is it analyzes your existing resume and scores it against the specific requirements of the job you're targeting.
Wow, so it's like getting personalized feedback on your resume. That's amazing.
Right, and it's not just about checking boxes either. It helps you uncover those subtle skill gaps you might not even realize you have, and then it gives you tailored recommendations like courses, certifications. You could take even mentorship opportunities to help you bridge those gaps.
Okay, so it's like having a personal career coach in your back pocket.
Yeah.
I love that because it's not just about getting any job. It's about finding the right job and having the tools to actually grow in that role. But okay, let's be real for a second. The interview process, that's always the nerve-wracking part.
Oh, tell me about it. It's like you can have the perfect resume and cover letter, but if you freeze up in the interview, it's all over.
Exactly. And that's where I think this platform gets really interesting. They have a whole section dedicated to interview prep.
Yeah, I was checking that out. Like, so they have over 120,000 interview questions. Like, what even? How is that possible?
120,000 questions. That's insane. Are you supposed to memorize all of them or something?
That's what I thought too, but it's actually much more sophisticated than that.
Okay. So how does it work?
So it's not about memorizing answers. It's about understanding the intent behind the question and then crafting compelling narratives based on your own unique experiences. Like those, tell me about a time you reported questions.
Oh, okay. So it's like having a framework for answering those classic questions
Yeah.
in a way that feels authentic to you and relevant to the specific job.
Exactly. And they even have AI-powered practice tools that let you like simulate interviews, and then it analyzes your delivery, your tone, even your body language.
Wait, it analyzes your body language. How does that even work?
It uses AI to analyze video recordings of your practice interviews, and it gives you personalized feedback on things like your pacing, your tone of voice, even like those nervous cell tics we all have.
Oh, it picks up on nervous tics. That's both really cool and also kind of creepy. Ah, ha, ha.
It's definitely impressive. But, it's not about like trying to hide who you are. It's about learning how to present your best self in like a high pressure situation.
That makes sense. And speaking of putting yourself out there, we were talking earlier about how RoleCatcher can kind of help employers find you.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Can we talk more about that?
Yeah.
Because like that's the part that sounds almost too good to be true.
Right, like just create a profile and then boom, job offers raining down.
Exactly. Sign me up. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But seriously, how does that actually work?
So it's not magic or anything, but it's definitely a more proactive approach. So you still input all your information, skills, experience, career goals, all that good stuff.
Okay.
But then instead of applying to individual jobs, you're basically making your profile searchable by employers who are looking for someone just like you.
So it's less about sending out a million applications and more about like creating this profile that attracts the right opportunities.
Exactly. It's all about making that connection based on like shared goals and values.
I like that a lot. But what's in it for employers? Like, why would they use this feature?
Well, think about it from their perspective. How much time do recruiters spend just like sifting through resumes?
Oh gosh, a ton, I'm sure.
Right, and a lot of those resumes are probably not even a good fit for the position. So RoleCatcher basically streamlines that whole process by connecting them directly with candidates who meet their specific criteria.
It's like a matchmaking service, but for jobs.
Exactly, and it saves everyone time and energy.
I love that.
Okay.
And you know what else I like? The more we talk about RoleCatcher, the more I'm seeing this commitment to like a two-way street.
Yeah.
You know, like both job seekers and employers are active participants in the process.
Totally. It's a partnership, not just like a one-sided thing.
And speaking of resources, can we talk about those career guides you were telling me about?
Yeah, the career guides.
I was looking through them and I was so impressed. Like they have guides for everything.
Right. It's like having a career counselor on speed dial.
Exactly. And what I love is how they don't just give you like the basic job description and salary expectations. They really give you a feel for the day-to-day reality of that job.
Yes, you get insights into the work environment, the potential career paths, even like the challenges people face in that role.
It's like getting a behind-the-scenes look before you even apply.
Exactly. So you can go in with your eyes wide open.
I wish I had this kind of resource when I was starting out.
Yeah.
It would save me so much time and uncertainty.
Me too. It's invaluable no matter where you are in your career.
And it's not just for entry-level roles either.
Yeah.
I noticed that the promotion assistant guide even had sections on like career progression and moving up to more senior positions.
Right. It's about helping you plan for the long term, not just the immediate future.
Okay, so we've been talking a lot about the specific features of RoleCatcher, but I want to zoom out for a second and talk about the bigger picture.
Okay, yeah. Let's do that.
What does this platform tell us about the future of work, especially as AI becomes more and more integrated into the process?
That's a great question. It's definitely a sign of the times, you know?
Like, it's easy to get caught up in the fear surrounding AI, the whole robots are taking over our jobs narrative.
Yeah.
But what if instead of replacing us, AI can actually empower us?
That's a really interesting way to look at it. Like maybe it's not about AI versus humans, but about AI working with humans.
Exactly, like using these tools to our advantage to make smarter decisions about our careers.
And to create a more efficient and equitable job market for everyone.
Right, because let's be real, the traditional job hunting process, it's not exactly perfect.
Definitely not. It's stressful, it's time-consuming, and it often feels really unfair.
So maybe platforms like RoleCatcher are a step in the right direction.
Maybe. But of course, we can't just ignore the potential downsides either, you know?
Right. There are always two sides to every coin.
Exactly. And with any new technology, there's always a risk of unintended consequences.
Okay, so what are some of the potential pitfalls we should be aware of as platforms like RoleCatcher become more prevalent?
Well, one concern is the potential for bias.
Bias. How so?
So if the algorithms that power these platforms aren't carefully designed and monitored, they could accidentally perpetuate existing inequalities in the job market.
That makes sense. Like if the data used to train the algorithms isn't diverse and representative enough.
Exactly. It could lead to biased outcomes.
Okay, so it's not enough to just create these tools. There's an ongoing responsibility to make sure they're being used ethically and responsibly.
Absolutely. And to constantly be monitoring for and addressing any potential biases that might emerge.
That's really important. But I'm also wondering about something else.
What's that?
Do you think there's a risk of us becoming too reliant on platforms like RoleCatcher?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Like what happens to our own instincts, our ability to take risks and forge our own paths if we're constantly being guided by algorithms?
Now, that is the million-dollar question. It's something we should definitely unpack further.
It's something to think about for sure. Okay, so we're back, and I've been thinking about what you said, about us relying too much on these platforms. Like, is there a point where it becomes too much?
It's a tough one, right? Because you have this amazing tool at your fingertips, but then there's this part of you that's like, wait a minute, shouldn't I be in the driver's seat when it comes to my career?
Right. And I can't help to think, like, what happens if everyone's using RoleCatcher and every resume starts to look the same and everyone's highlighting the same skills? Like, does the job market just become this big, homogenous blob?
It's definitely a possibility. And what about people who have more, like, unconventional career paths,
Yes. The people who are like, I'm going to forge my own path, I'm going to do my own thing.
Exactly. Like, do those people even get a shot if the algorithm isn't catching them?
It's almost like we need to find that sweet spot, you know? Like using these tools to our advantage, but not letting them completely dictate our every career move.
I think that's the key. It's all about balance.
Because at the end of the day, your career should be a reflection of you, right? Not just what some algorithm thinks you should be doing.
100%. There's something to be said for trusting your gut, taking risks, following your curiosity, even if it's a little scary. Those are things an algorithm can't really teach you.
Right. Like you can't quantify those aha moments that come from just like exploring and trying new things.
Exactly. And sometimes you need a human to tell you, hey, that crazy idea you have, go for it.
Yes. Because sometimes what you need isn't data or an algorithm. It's just like a human connection, someone who believes in you, even when you're doubting yourself.
It's that human element that can make all the difference. And I hope that never goes away no matter how advanced technology gets.
Me too. So to everyone out there listening who's navigating their own career journey, remember to embrace the tools that empower you, but never underestimate the power of your own intuition and the value of human connection. Those things are irreplaceable.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
That's all the time we have for today's deep dive. But thank you so much for joining us and for this fascinating conversation.
It was my pleasure. And to everyone listening out there, good luck on your job search.
And remember, trust your gut, follow your dreams, and don't be afraid to reach out to your human network for support. We'll see you next time.